Welcome, parents. We're going to let people start joining our presentation here. We'll get started in just a few minutes. We'll wait for people to log in and get set. Welcome, parents. We're going to let people start joining. We'll wait about one more minute. We have a few more people still logging on. While we get there, parents, there is some question and answer box. If you want to type in some of those questions, we'll try to answer those during the presentation. So if there is stuff that you want to know and you're thinking about, please go ahead and post those in the Q&A, and we will try to answer them as we go.
Sorry, I was lagging.
All right, welcome, parents. Thank you for joining us for our virtual 2021 fifth grade parent evening. So we're going to have a few things here we'll go through. We'll have some introductions of my panelists here, which is my admin and counseling team. We'll go over a quick little presentation, and then we'll try to answer your questions and answers. I see that some of you guys are already starting to post some of those in the Q&A. That's fantastic. So to get started, I'm going to introduce myself. I'm Dr. Mike Roberts. I'm principal here at A. Wright Middle School, second year being principal here at A. Wright. And overall, this is my 8th year being principal. Next year will be year number 9. I've been in education for 19 years, going on 20 years. This is my, let's see here, 13th year in administration. Trying to think about that all the time there, but 13th year in administration. I was 6 years as a teacher, going on year number 3 here at AE Wright. I'm going to have my assistant principal go ahead and introduce herself to you guys.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you so much for being here tonight and taking time out of your dinner time, most likely, or work time to join us. My name is Gia Jantz. I'm the very proud assistant principal at AE Wright. Like Dr. Roberts, we both came in at the same time to AE Wright. So this is my second year here at AE Wright. And prior to that, I was in Conejo Valley Unified School District for 12 years. Most of those I was a middle school teacher, and this is my 4th year total as an administrator.
Hi, I'm Erin Howard. I am one of the counselors and the department chair. If your student's last name is A through K, I will be their counselor. Welcome. I've been in Las Virgenes Unified School District this is my 15th year, I believe. And I've been at AE Wright for, I think, 12 and a half years, somewhere in there.
Hi, good evening. My name is Kelsey Hollingsworth, and I'm the other school counselor. I have students with the last names L through Z. This is my 4th year in Las Virgenes and my 1st year at AE Wright, and I worked 3 years in the Bay Area before I came here.
Awesome, thank you. Excited for our team that we have here serving the students at AE Wright. Everybody's got great passion and desire to want to make this the best place possible. So love my team here. So our plan for tonight is part of it's to alleviate stress. I know that students are worried about going to middle school, and you guys have questions joining the new school. So we're going to try to alleviate some of that. I'll give you a little bit of information, introduce the PFC. Share some information about the school, classes, and upcoming events that you'll need to know about, and then try to answer any leftover questions that you might have. So once again, if you're just joining us now, you can throw some of those questions in the Q&A, and my assistant principal and counselors will try to answer those questions as we go through as well. Parent Faculty Club. This year, currently, we have 2 co-presidents, Amy Grayson and Naomi Golden. They are finishing up their last year as presidency here at AE Wright. They've been here for a few years. And our president-elect is going to be Erin Mayer. So she will be here next year when you join us. So some of the things that our PFC does to help out, so I highly encourage you guys to support as you guys jump on board with us, is they support and give us some extra library hours, campus supervision, classroom materials, help with school functions, dances, music program with coaches, campus beautification. And right here, you'll see one of the latest projects. We just are finishing up redoing our whole gym. The PFC had been saving up some money to redo this. And so we just put in a brand new wood floor. Actually, we'll finish up this week, and we'll have available for our students starting next week here. So donating to our PFC helps support a lot of our wonderful programs that we have in here on all aspects, making sure that our students have the best possible facilities, classes, and support possible. And I just am very thankful for all the parent support that we have had here and continue to have here, because it is one of the things that makes AE Wright a great place. A couple of the things here we'll be talking about is sort of like the big transition areas. Coming to middle school is a big year for students. They are coming onto a new campus. They are stepping into a place to where they might have had their friends for many years. You know, you go K through 5, you've had a group of friends. And when you come onto a campus at any middle school level, you've got multiple elementaries joining into making one campus here. So you got a bigger campus, more students. You also go from being the top dog in the elementary, where you're the big 5th graders and all the little kids look up to you, to where you step onto a new campus and now you are the small kid, and you have 8th graders who at times you feel like you got to look up to them and you want to try to fit in there. So we're going to try to alleviate some of that. And then also on a campus, you start to get new teachers. You go from possibly just having 1 teacher to having 6 teachers. You have new classes in between English, science, math, history, PE. You have all these new classes and a new set of expectations here. So there's lots of things that you start to wonder about. There could be concerns. So we're going to try to help ease you into it. And we have a couple things that will go hand in hand on making things a lot easier and better for you guys. So I mentioned academics. So academics, you're going to come into you're going to have a PE class. It's just PE. You're going to have lots of activities that you do in there. Science, math, English, history, and electives. So those are some of the 6 classes that you have. For 6th grade, we try to keep the levels not as many to help reduce that stress of moving in and trying to fit in and get through there. In math, we have 2 levels of math. We have your college prep math, which is your introductory, will get you prepped for college and on the right track. And we also have a Math 6 High, which is we'll be giving out a placement test here in the next, I'm going to say in a week and a half probably, that they'll be taking inside their elementary classes or 5th grade classrooms. If they're in the virtual academy, we're going to be sending out some dates here to where we're going to be asking the 6th graders to come onto campus, the virtual incoming 6th graders, virtual academy students, to take that placement test here on campus. And any students who are not attending classes on the 5th grade campuses. If you're a permit kid, we will be getting dates out to you guys as well. We will be communicating that time there that you can take that placement test. So more information to come on that, where those dates and time are coming up. English classes are they're all lumped in together. And once you get into 7th and 8th grade, you'll have the opportunity to take an honors class for 7th and 8th grade for English and history as well. So those will start in 7th and 8th grade. And those of you guys that tested and are going to be in our GATE program will have the English, math, and science cohorted together. So those are a little bit about the academics. And now for the electives. One of the most popular for electives for our incoming 6th graders is Discovery Rotation. So they'll have about 10 weeks in each one of these rotations here. You can see pictures of the art. You can see pictures of robotics. We have Spanish. We have Early College Academy. So we look at the number of kids that take these here, and we try to give them a variety of the courses that we might offer. Music might be one of them here. So we're still looking at the numbers on how that might look, but the rotation is basically the students would get 4 or 5 different electives that they will get throughout the course of the year, basically to give them a snapshot on what they might be able to experience in 7th and 8th grade when they start to sign up for those classes in full rotations. So this here is just like a little snippet on what they might expect. One thing that I'm just going to share out there, might not have thrown it out there, might be one of those questions you guys are wondering. As of right now, Las Virgenes Unified School District is planning on having full-time in-person classes for next year, just so that you are aware and have that in your mindset. So we do plan on having students on campus as long as everything continues to trend in the way it's going with all the public health information. Our plan is to have students full-time on campus. So I'll just get that out there so that you're aware of that information. Once the kids can take this rotation here and they really love art, they will be able to sign up for art in 7th and 8th grade here. They get to do a lot of painting, clay, 3-dimension, 2-dimension, different shading. So they'll learn a lot about different types of modalities and just different interests for our kids here. So they will be able to go through and just get a big variety of different type of fine arts. Spanish, if a student elects to take Spanish, if they take Spanish, they're in 7th grade, we'll call that Spanish 1A. They will get basically an equivalent to high school half a year. And if they complete the Spanish 1B, their 8th grade year, they will complete a 2-year program for here, and they will get 1 year of high school foreign language credit completed in through middle school. So when they step into high school, their freshman year, they could be stepping into Spanish too. So it's a great little incentive. If the students really love the Spanish, they can jump in there and get that going. Robotics is one of the things that they get to learn programming. So they'll start off in the class programming, and in the picture here, you can see that they start to program the robotics here, these little wheels here. So it starts as an entry-level programming, and as the year goes on, they get to more complex. They will work within groups, different platforms. They learn computer language, and it just gives them a great little sense of understanding what coding might start to look like. So if coding is something that they really get interested in for future references, this is a great entry level, and the kids have a great time building either moving robotics, other little platforms, light shows, and a lot of different other stuff there that they want to get into. Orchestra, band, choir. This is the next couple slides here. Orchestra, if you want to play the violin, viola, cello, or string bass, you would sign up for orchestra. I think a lot of you guys have already started putting in some of those requests. In class, they learn about different musical styles. They start to figure out different stuff that they might want to do and how to develop that. And we have these coaches, our PFC helps, will come in and start to support all those different types of instruments and going through there. Band is one of the other parts in there. They go through the flute, oboe, clarinet, saxophone, trumpet, French horn, trombone, tuba, and percussion. They have the big variety. We do look for beginning band to get those kids introduced and start playing some of those instruments. They start teaching them how to play sound, how to take care of the instruments, how to do sight reading. And we have the wide variety of a beginning band all the way to advanced band up into the couple years. Choir is one of the most, a lot of 6th graders love taking choir. They learn how to sing, read sight music, different genres between jazz, classical, up-to-date pop, and some of the different stuff there. And then they usually get to sing at some festivals, concerts, and one of their trips that we hope to get back to is at Disneyland, where they get to jump in at the end of the year and get an experience there in some of their sound studios. It's just an awesome place to be out there. PE has a wide variety. So each grade level, they try to hit on in different stuff there. So as you can see here, we have a rock climbing wall that's inside the gym. They get to experience that, go up there in different levels. We do have an introductory one that's outside that you can see through there. But they also do a lot of movement. So they will do movement exercises, core strength training, throwing, team sports, individual sports, yoga, mind and body, physical, how to work on diet. So they try to hit a wide variety in all 3 years on teaching the kids how to become just nutrition, how to take care of themselves, how to understand stuff. So our PE, we call it like physical wellness to some degree, but it's to try to really build the body, the whole mindset of what students might expect and how to help take care of themselves and understand a lot of different activities. So it's not just baseball and basketball, volleyball and football, but they do go over that stuff there, but it's also to give them paddle tennis, crochet, or cricket. They'll go through some cricket, rock climbing, and a big variety of activities to try to meet the needs of a lot of different students. So many of your students have already received their elective sheets. So they got this to submit those to the counselors. The counselors went in, it's been about a month now, they went in and talked to a little bit more in depth about all these different classes with the students, and the students submitted those electives to the counselors. We will be getting some of that elective information out soon, especially like the Early College Academy, which is not talked about in here. We had a special presentation about that one there. So we'll be getting that out there. And if you do have some requests or some specific questions, you can reach out to the counselors. At the end of this presentation, I will have their emails up that you can send out some of that stuff, questions to them if you do have those. So some of the student life is we try to really get the kids involved. We know that coming into middle school is one of those unique areas. There's lots of phases for these middle schoolers. One of the great things I always get to talk about is when people say, where do you work? You work at a middle school? Oh my gosh, being around teenagers, that's a unique time frame. I said, yes, well, I love it because middle schoolers, teenagers love to talk to their counselors and teachers, but they might not necessarily love talking to their parents. As many of you guys might know, have had teenagers, they tend to not think that their parents are correct, even though we know that parents are correct, and we have that. I have teenagers myself. Today is actually one of my son's birthday, so I'm here with you guys on his birthday, but he turns 13, so he is now actually a teenager and is a 7th grader here at AE Wright. So I know what the feeling is for having teenagers, but I also know the aspect of being a principal here at a middle school and helping out with them. So we try to transition, we try to do a lot of contests to get these kids involved. You can see here, like just an activity here that they might be doing, sending notes to people, appreciation. We try to send some to the fire department, some of the hospitals, some of the local things to try to do some of those stuff there. We have dress up days, school rallies, karaoke events on Fridays. Friday, we like to wear blue. We try to get them in here. We try to have a lot of activities that really get the kids involved and letting them have fun and being part of who they are. A lot of our teachers also set up activities and clubs. We have a Harry Potter club, Green Club, where they do cleanups at the beach and the creeks, and really try to figure out what the students are interested in to help get these kids set up and like-minded. Because we might have a student that's coming from Willow and students that are coming from Round Meadow, Lupin, Topanga Elementary, and a lot of these other ones that are coming in here to AE Wright, and we try to get them set up to where they can meet some new friends that might be lifelong friends here. It's a time for them to get involved and getting part of that. One of the other things that we get is we have intramural sports. So some of our intramural sports is we do play basketball, soccer, and some of those, and we do compete against AC Stell and Lindero. So last year we beat AC Stell and Lindero in basketball, some of the first time that we got to knock them down, and they were not very happy that they lost to AE Wright. But we're setting up some good traditions here to where we're going to support and push our athletics to push those teams over, and love with the competition here. It's always fun to have a little competition between your rival schools, or well, we don't want to say rivals because they're within our district, but you know what I mean here. So we try to go against them a little bit. So here's a picture of our counseling team having fun, trying to reach out. Once again, Miss Howard seeing letters A through K last name, and Miss Hollingsworth L through Z. During the school year, they set up group counseling, individual counseling. They help kids with their scheduling. Sometimes, a kid might have had a bad day. Something might have happened in the family. Something might have happened. They could have had an issue with a friend or something, and they're looking for support. Our counselors are here to help support them. They can come into the counseling office and just check out to say, hey, can I just see the counselors? And they get them in there as soon as possible. Talk to them, give them some resources, find out what's going on, and just they're here for them here. So they're a real big part of supporting the social emotional needs of our students. One of the things that we talked about a little bit is the students setting goals this morning. We did talk to them about setting goals. So we do have Honor Society. Honor Society is based on academic grades here. So at the end of semesters, so they can start to apply for Honor Society. So for an example, if they, all 6 classes, they would get, say they got straight A's, they could earn up to 18 points for there. If they get a B, they get 1 point. And so we start to look at those points in there as we have the guidelines, which will be in the handbook. We can show you guys later at another time when it goes out. But after the first semester, our 6th graders have the opportunity, if they worked really hard, to become part of Honor Society and have an opportunity to go to Astro Camp. You might be asking what Astro Camp is. Astro Camp is a camp that's set up in the mountains where they get to go into some aquatics like this here and have some team building where they learn about different stuff here. It is a trip that students do pay for. It's if they qualify for it and they go through there. We do get more information out. It's an awesome trip that the kids have a great opportunity and time. 7th graders work hard to have the opportunity to go to Catalina Island as one of their trips there. They push in there, and then they get to do a lot of aquatics out there, get to see what the beach life, marine life, and what some of that type of stuff is. Those are overnight trips. And in 8th grade, they have the opportunity to go to Yosemite. They stay a week in Yosemite and learn about all the geographs, the hikes, the mountains, the climate, and all that different stuff there. So those are some extra trips that students can earn on the opportunity to try to go to, but it comes down to grades and academics and behaviors and how they behave on campus. After school, we do have a couple things here. So a couple things that we have is the JACS. It's a theater program that comes on to campus. They practice here at AE Wright. They do put on 1 to 2 shows a year. A lot of times with JACS, they'll have kids coming from Lindero, sometimes Stell, and they'll put on one big theater show here. We do have a group that comes on here and does an after-school coding program. So students will send out messages during the week that they can sign up for coding. And then also, if you need some after-school care and the kids need to stay a little bit longer, we have the Boys and Girls Club that is housed here on AE Wright. They stay open until 6 o'clock. And that is another opportunity if you need to look into that. Information we usually send out when school starts and get them into there as much as possible. We also have library hours. School usually ends about 3:10. The library does stay up until 4 o'clock. So if the students need to go in there and need a quiet space for a little bit to get some homework done, it's open for them to go in there. They can knock that out. Parents come in, pick them up a little bit later. Sometimes that's a good thing to miss the carpool loop on the way out. Come pick up your kids at 3:45, 4 o'clock. So it gives them another opportunity and option to get some work done. A question that's always asked: who do I ask? So grades and assignments, you want to reach out to the teacher first. Ask them, why am I missing this assignment? Or, why did I get this certain grade? You go through there. If you want to have anything about anxiety, mental health, talking about high school, any of those types of things, class schedules, you would go to your counselor. Behavior, that's Mrs. Jance's area there. Also safety stuff, she'll handles a lot of that. And if there's any teacher issues, I do ask that you go to the teacher first. If there's something that you have questions, go with, talk to them first, but then if not, then you come reach out to me and going through there. Some other small areas there, leadership. Miss Troop runs our leadership program. She does a fantastic job. Yearbook is Miss Jaffe. The All-Stars or intramurals is Miss Jance. And intramural sports during the school day. So we do have intramural sports that goes on at lunchtime. Mr. DeLonzo runs that. They'll do some flag football, basketball, soccer. They have different sports that go on during lunchtime. Kids can sign up with their friends and run those through. Honor Society, which I talked to a little bit ago, Mrs. Herrera oversees that. It's also like CJSF for some of the high school that you might use to. The GATE program, some of the teacher leads is Miss Tepper and Mrs. Rinaldi. If you have any questions about an English learner program, you can reach out to Miss Jance. And then our music program is led by Mr. Proctor. So those are some of the information there. So last couple things here, what makes AE Wright the right choice? We have a great culture. So we have a culture of having kids stepping in, playing athletics that you might see in the top program, to where we have an intramural flag football program where they get to challenge the adults, which I'll say the adults beat them last year on some plays that we had a great time with. To pictures in the top left where we have school assemblies at Camp Sparty, which will be coming up here at the beginning of the school here, to where we get these kids involved. We want to try to have them feel like they have a place. I'll talk about Camp Sparty in just a minute here. Here's a trip at Yosemite here at the bottom left. The kids got to go there and explore, have a great opportunity. And then in the right, the bottom right there, we have activities like walk through ancient world. We have history day. We have different activities. So we try to do a lot of events that are fun, exciting, but then our teachers spend countless hours making sure that these students are prepared and ready to enter high school. One of the things constantly hear about is our kids are always very well prepared to succeed at Agora High School or Calabasas High School. Our teachers just do a fantastic job preparing them for writing. Kids come back and say, man, your class is hard, but I get it. When they come back, they're like, I felt so prepared heading to high school that I feel like high school is almost easy now that you prepared me, that I know what is going on and how to be successful. So our teachers do just a fantastic job preparing them. But we have such a culture and climate that makes it where all kids feel that they belong. One of the unique things about AE Wright is we have students spanning from as far as, we almost have students that come from every one of the elementary feeder schools in Las Virgenes Unified, to some students that permit in from from Caneo, to some students that permit in from the Valley for our GATE program and everything else. So we have such a big wide variety of students that do come in here to be part of the campus. We just have a great culture. Students feel like they belong and they're part of it. Our campus does split up. In high school, about half our campus goes to Agora High School and half of them go to Calabasas High School. So students do have the choice at the end to make which high school they want to go into after that. And so it just gives these kids a lot of options and a lot of opportunities. And we love making them feel like they have a home here at AE Wright. Next steps. So today we did the fifth grade visit. Some of the students got to be part of that. I will send out a link later to that fifth grade visit this morning. Just a disclaimer, the fifth grade visit will have some information for the students, but we did do breakout rooms with those kids there to where they get to see like a little virtual tour, and they get to meet with some of our leadership students and ask some of their questions. So the fifth grade visit will be so much on that. Registration will open up on July 1st for you to confirm your information, get in some of that stuff there. We will have registration for students on August 11th. It will be in person here on campus. And then Camp Sparty will be the day before school starts on August 17th. So Camp Sparty, you might be asking, Camp Sparty is for our sixth graders, our incoming sixth graders to come onto campus. Our leadership students run activities with them. They play games. They help get them set up to meet new friends. They walk them by all the classrooms so that these kids, when they walk on, they're looking at the schedule, like, I have 6 classes, I don't know where to go. They will get walked around campus so that they have a great idea of where to go, what to expect, how to feel comfortable on that first day of school. Camp Sparty is usually $20. They get the first AE Wright Spirit shirt so that they are ready to go, and they will get to meet some new friends and just have it's a good, easy, fun day for the kids to get on campus before school starts and to get to know some new friends. And then we have the first day of school on August 18th. So those are some of the next steps, next things that you can start to expect from us. Plus, we'll have the math placement test, which I mentioned a little bit ago. We will get that information out to you guys as well. So what questions might you have? I know that there's been some of these in the chat box. I've asked my assistant principal and counselors to ask some of those or answer those, but I'm going to turn it over to Ms. Jansen, the counselors, to go over some of the most asked questions. You guys can also look at some of those that have been answered in there. If you have any other questions, please post those in the Q&A section, and we will try to answer some of those right now as we have time from there. So Ms. Jansen, Ms. Hollingworth, Ms. Howard, take it away.
Well, a lot of them have been answered. We actually don't have any. We have one outstanding question that's being answered by Ms. Howard right now. So just a lot of it having to do with testing. If you wanted to elaborate a little bit more on math testing, math placement testing, or any other testing and electives.
Okay, so for math placement, just to go over it again, so in the next, probably within 2 weeks, I don't have the specific date, once your student goes to, if you're in Las Virgenes Unified School District, if you're at one of our elementary schools, when you go to your in-person session, you will be taking that math placement test with your teacher at school. So the students, you do not need to sign up for it. That will be one of the days. So I don't know what day exactly. It's going to depend on your 5th grade teacher. So they will do that placement test with you. If you're in the VA Academy, we are going to, our Miss Winter will be sending out some dates and information with you. We are going to ask that you do come on campus to take that math placement test. It's just, we prefer that it's done in person. So we will have a very secure, clean place. We'll give you some time slots to sign up for it, but we just want to make sure the integrity of the test is set, that the students are taking it in person, that there's no outside assistance or anybody else helping with that there. So we do ask that they come in. If you do not feel safe at this time about coming in, we will place you in a regular college prep class for now, but we will have some dates closer to the school year. If you decide to take the test when it gets closer to the school year, or if you come onto campus in the beginning, we will have the teachers give that placement test in the beginning, and we will make some changes to your schedule. So if you're given a schedule, you could have some changes to your schedule then, but we highly encourage you to come in earlier to have that done earlier so that we can make sure we have the proper class placements, because it could cause some disruptions to everybody's schedule. We will have time slots set up. It will probably be at the AE Wright for the VA Academy. It'll probably be here at AE Wright. We'll probably set up time slots. It'll probably be in our drama room. We might have some spots set up. It's just going to depend on our internet connection. But they will be, the spots will be distance, fresh air. We will clean each station after usage, and there'll be more than enough space on there. So we'll have time slots so you can come in here and feel comfortable with that. It's just what we got to try to do now. So we're working on the logistics of that. Miss Winter will be sending out that information, and that testing will probably happen at AE Wright, just because that's where Miss Winter and Miss Cashman are housed. And that's actually going to be for the whole district. So all those VA students will be coming here. So we'll set up some times. We'll have some flexibility with you guys here, but we'll get that out here soon. The college prep is a regular math. It's grade level standards. They will be doing all that to make them highly successful. Our students do a phenomenal job with their test scores. We have some of the higher test scores in the area in our math department, but we have college prep, math 6, or we're going to have math 6 high for some of the advancement moving forward there. Registration is August 11th. That is correct. And we will be sending out a lot more information. So I'm just giving you guys some advanced dates. I will have information going out in June, probably, that will be getting out to you guys, that will be sending out registration information, a lot more information. So we will be sending out a lot more, but just giving you a heads up, it'll be August 11th will be the registration. If you almost got on this, the email from me, we have you pre-registered here at A. Wright. So I sent out to the families that are all pre-registered to come to A. Wright. So if you got an email from me, you're pre-registered, ready to go to here to A. Wright. And at registration, we say like the registration is open on July 1st. What that does is we send it out to you guys, and that's when you guys need to re-verify your information, making sure your email addresses are correct, your address is correct, your phone numbers are correct. You signed the photo. It's all the preschool stuff here. You get the student agenda, the handbooks, a lot of that information that just pertains to A. Wright. We'll send out a lot of that stuff there. You will get that right around July is when that goes out to you guys. Any other questions? Registration will be in person. That is also the time that we take student pictures and IDs. We will have more than likely with everything, it's going to be, we'll have it spaced out. We'll be following whatever county guidelines that we have at that time. But it'd be spaced out. We'll have it on campus. They'll go through, they'll get their pictures, they'll pick up student agendas, handbooks. The students will find out which lockers they're going to get. So our 6th graders do get lockers. So only our 6th graders do. So I know some kids were wondering if they will get lockers. We will give out locker information to them then at that point. And we'll go from there. If you're out of town, we will probably have a registration makeup day, but it might be right before school starts there. So we'll get that information out when we have that more calendar, but it's usually the Tuesday before. Sometimes we have a registration makeup the Tuesday before school starts in the morning, and then Camp Sparty starts in the afternoon for those students there. So we will get that information out to you guys soon. Any other questions? Once again, if you can look there, if you want to take your phone out and take a picture of the screen there that has all our emails. If it's a specific question to one of us, there's the emails. Our registrar, Mrs. Povosh, I put hers in there. She will answer any of your registration information. If you want to make sure that you have all the correct information in there, she can make sure that all of that is correct. Just send her an email and she will get that solidified. If it's any course request, anything to do with your schedules, please email whatever counselor fits into your last name. Any other questions, you can feel free to email me or Miss Jansen. We'll be more than happy to get back to you as soon as we can. The second one, they're very similar to the other one, but we have more staff on hand that first day. So pre-registration is just gonna be a much shorter, quicker. We try to get you through because it's usually a much smaller crowd, but we try to encourage everybody to get to the original registration because we have more stuff and more people set up to help out with that. So we'll have more information to come. Computers, there was a few. So students can use their own computers. They're more than that is perfectly fine. If they do not have their own computers, students can use, we will check out ACERs to them. So students will need to have their own ACERs or a computer to have during the school day. They need to bring that with them every day. Just reminds me of one other thing there. So cell phones is a big question that gets asked of us a lot. So at our campus, during the school day, we do not allow cell phones out during the school day. Cell phones need to be put away. Students can bring them to campus. We have no problems with that. They can use them before school, but once school starts, we want cell phones put away. When it is passing period, break time, lunchtime, they need to be put away. One of our emphasis is, that is time for them to socialize with friends. That is time for them to play on the school grounds, the fields, and to do that stuff and to be a little bit of tech-free time. Even at lunchtime, we want them to try to stay off their computers at lunchtime. We just want that downtime from the technology and have more interactions. We do have a small area set up on the side. We call it our little blue bench that we have on campus that a student can walk over to go either make a call or check their messages. Say for an example, they need to stay after school to ask a question of their ELA teacher. They can go to that blue bench. It's a small area. They can get out and they can text mom or dad, say, hey, can you pick me up at 3:45 instead of 3:15? I need to see my English teacher. They can do that. And then we just want them to text in there. It does a great job at keeping kids off of social media during the school day. Less of that stuff there. We've had it all last year, and it was a great thing. Kids were fantastic. It just helps with so many different avenues, but we do have an area for them to communicate and go through there. So it's just something that we believe that they need to have, just that downtime, and we always appreciate the parent support. So if kids are on their devices, they know the rules. We take the device away, and then we do ask for parents to come pick them up. And so it's just one of those things there. And so all your guys' support is greatly appreciated. For most of the stuff we hear from parents, that is something that they appreciate as well, having that support there as well, and not having the students use them for too much communication during the school day. So we know that we're going to have a little bit of a change. There are a lot of tech now being on digital learning. And so we're going to try to work on getting those kids back to in-school, in-person communications. One question about an iPad. An iPad works okay, but an iPad, some of their functions is not as well on some of the different platforms some of the teachers use. So it is best to have a Chromebook, a regular computer, or use one of the school ones. Or, if you want to use one of the school ones and an iPad, it's just sometimes iPads, their functionality doesn't work great with some of the other stuff that they're doing. So it's just a key to that, just so you guys understand that a little bit. Yes, they can have their Apple Watches, but if it starts to become an issue where we see kids going up and sending messages and everything with their Apple Watch, sometimes we talk to them about that there. But we do know some of the kids have Apple Watches. They do check their time on there, but we try to work with it, and the teachers will get on kids a little bit more often in their classroom if they're constantly getting up there trying to check notifications. That's one of the things that will pop up on those watches, is the notifications getting bing, 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 bing. And so if it becomes like a distraction, teachers will ask them to put away, or if they come up, we might talk to them about turning off those notifications. Whatever device they want to use, it's completely up to you guys. We just ask that they do bring a device every day. So they will probably use their device every day. Not every class might use the device, but they will use their device every day in one of their classes. So they need to have those with them. PE happens all throughout the day. It happened first period, second period, third, fourth, fifth, or sixth. They will have PE throughout the day in their schedule there. So as for the locker rooms, we assume we will have access to the locker rooms for them to be able to change it at that time, unless something comes out that changes that. But we assume that they will have that. In the beginning, sixth graders are nervous about changing, but the PE department, they take a few days before they start changing out. They go over some of the rules, some expectations. They'll give out lockers, and they'll talk to a lot of the students about what to expect. So students coming in the first couple of days will not need to dress out for PE. The PE teachers will go over a lot of that stuff with them on what to do, when to bring their PE clothes, and a lot of that stuff there. So PE does have recommended uniforms. We do sell PE clothes, and that will be part of the pre-registration information that we send out. You'll be able to see that they have PE clothes that we recommend that they wear. You can have your own, but we have an option for you to buy as well that goes in there. And that is one of those options. So that will be coming out later. So usually a lot of the times in 7th and 8th grade, their Chromebook or their computer is going to be probably the biggest thing that they will carry. And then they might have their AR, or they're reading their core novel or whatever book they're reading. But a lot of the other books, the teachers will have them only bring certain stuff there, or sometimes the teachers have the books inside their classrooms, or they will just access a few of the books online. So the kids shouldn't be carrying these 45-pound backpacks. They shouldn't. But the Chromebooks is going to be like their biggest thing. That's what a lot of the kids carry. And then, maybe a few of their notebooks that they'll be writing on. But most of the kids, be honest with you, 6th graders are super excited about having lockers because it's lockers. And after about the first semester, they have them forget what their locker is. They don't remember what it is and they don't use it, but it's a novelty. They love lockers, but they just, keep their stuff in their backpacks. They realize that they have textbooks inside the classrooms and they don't need as much of that stuff all the time there. So homework, it varies. It might be 10 minutes a night, might be 60 minutes a night, could be 70 minutes a night. A lot of it just going to depend on what might be happening. PE, you can probably, not PE, but math, you can expect 15 to 20 minutes of homework a night, depending on how much time they might have in class. Sometimes they're given opportunities to finish it. English, if they're writing a paper, they might have a little bit more. So a lot of it depends on how well the students manage their time in the classroom, but the teachers try to give them time to finish some of the projects, lessons, math. They try to give them time to go over it and finish some of that. So it just depends on how well the students manage their time. If they manage their time really well in class, they shouldn't have a lot of homework. But if they don't manage their time in class very well, they could have 60 minutes of homework a day. It just depends on how well they manage their time. So that's our biggest thing. We try to talk to them about managing. So thank you. Appreciate you guys being here. The PE lockers are big enough for them to put their computers in there so that you guys could have that. So they put them in there. Teachers, the PE department locks up the locker rooms. Stuff is pretty safe in there. So, all right. Well, thank you. We appreciate you guys joining us. Hopefully we answered a lot of your questions. Hopefully your students are getting excited to have them at Wright. We can't wait to have them on campus. We'll do everything that we can. We know that the adjustment is going to be something different. We will work very hard to make sure that they feel very comfortable being on campus. But please feel free to reach out to us if you have any questions. We're here to support and serve our community. So to serve you guys are our new family of Spartans coming in here. We love all the kids that come on this campus. So thank you for taking the time to be out here. If any of your friends missed this and they were going to ask you about this, we will have the recordings saved and we'll email them out so that you guys can have access to watch this and view this again. So once again, thank you for being here this evening. We appreciate the support. And when it comes to supporting our PFC, please help out and do everything you can that they do that. It makes a lot of stuff that we do on campus wonderful, between the gym, track, music, all those different things here that makes extra things that make it special. It's just what makes Wright what it is. So thank you for everything that you're doing. Parents, have a great rest of your 5th grade year. Enjoy the rest of the time with your kiddos in the elementary there, and looking forward to have them at Wright. So good night and have a great rest of your evening.